Hello!
Hi.
Welcome to another episode of Cinexcess Goes to See.
Yep.
What are we going to go see today, Kelly?
Well, I think that it might be a double feature. What are we doing?
It's not going to be a double feature. Um, we It's real hard because there's two movies I want to see out right now, which I want to see the new Evil Dead movie. I heard good things about that. But what takes precedent over that for me is Ari Aster's new movie, Beau Is Afraid. I
That looks so good.
absolutely loved Hereditary and I love Midsommar. And I've actually watched all of his short films too. But yeah, this is his third film, and I I don't know, I got kind of curious and I went and I found the script online and
All
downloaded it, but I didn't read it. So I
right.
know nothing about this film.
Don't
So
don't spoil it.
no, I know
There's
nothing about it.
I hope there's a little bit of humor in this one. Isn't there supposed to be?
I have no idea whatsoever. I
If
don't know if it's a comedy, a tragedy, or what. I
it
just
looks
know,
good and it's still a little bit spooky,
yeah,
but if there could be some comedy in it too, that'd be great.
yeah. I noticed last night on Apple Music that the soundtrack came out, and I was laying in bed and couldn't sleep. I thought about listening to it, and I decided I don't even want to know the mood of this movie, so
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Well, it's going to be so much fun to see this like totally blind,
Yep. Yeah,
which
I
is
don't
we don't get to do very often.
know. Yeah, I think I watched the teaser trailer to this.
Yeah, we did, and it was.
I know
I
there's
thought it
more
looked good.
trailers I haven't watched because I didn't want to get spoiled.
Yeah.
So many movies, as everybody knows, it's a common complaint, but they put everything in the trailer, and it's just like, if you have any kind of imagination, it doesn't take that much to piece together.
Oh my
the
god, they
dots
put
and
way too much in the trailer.
know exactly what happens in the movie. But yeah, this one I don't know anything about.
Sorry for the jiggliness.
It's also a strange title. Beau Is Afraid. I don't I don't know what
I don't
that
know,
means.
it's gonna be good.
Yeah, he finally made a movie with more than one word title, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah. And
But
didn't you say it was almost? Didn't you say it was almost 3 hours long?
I think it is 3 hours long. I think it might be a little over 3 hours. I'm not sure which.
I'm not opposed to long movies.
No, I'm not. I know a lot of people are.
Yeah.
I hate it when I go to see a movie and it's just barely an hour and a half.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like, you feel like you got ripped off. Like
totally.
you just got comfortable. Like you still have popcorn in your bucket and the movie's over. Like
Yeah.
that's not right.
And it's so expensive.
Yeah, it really is. I think that's like what kills a movie theater for me is short movies that aren't worth paying the money to go see. Like
Yeah.
I'm not even, it takes me almost as long to drive there as it did
I
to go
know.
see the movie.
I know.
So yeah, I'm a big fan of Ari Aster. He is one of the most interesting filmmakers out there, in my opinion.
Same.
He's somebody that I. It's one of those things where you can trust the director, but you're also not safe with the director. Like you don't know what the hell is going to happen.
That's totally true.
Um, yeah, Hereditary. I'd heard some buzz like, oh, this movie's good, and I wound up watching that by myself. I think when you were in Seattle or something. I think, and
Yeah, because I remember you telling me about. You're like, you're not even gonna believe this film.
no, I was, that he set it up, and I fell for it. I mean, putting her on the posters and everything, it feels like the main character. It's like Janet Leigh in Psycho, which
Right.
You see Psycho after the fact, but if you would have saw it then at the day when Janet Leigh is the big star, and you're like, oh, a new Janet Leigh movie, it's like, oh, I guess again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I that was one of the, I do watch a lot of horror movies, and so I don't know if jaded's the right word, but I've seen so much of it. Like I'm tired of jump scares.
Oversaturation.
Yeah, like I know all the tricks. It doesn't work. Like I can enjoy a movie and still not be scared by it. And I don't know if I was scared by Hereditary, but I was definitely disturbed.
Oh, it was very. I wasn't scared, but I was shocked. definitely.
Yeah, it
was a shocking film. So was Midsommar.
I honestly, it's like it sounds like a cliche, but I remember realizing that my jaw was hanging open long after, because it's not just that scene, but the whole fact that he can't deal with it and he just goes to
Oh my
bed, and then
God,
the
just leaves
screams
her
in the
there.
morning, and it's
Wah.
like, holy crap! Like that was intense.
That was a
And
lot.
then Midsommar, like almost right off the bat with the daughter who kills the parents and herself, and
Spoiler alert.
well, I mean, it's the first 2 minutes of the
Yeah.
movie. It's not much of a spoiler. The whole movie is about grief and how you deal with it.
It was great.
Yeah, and it really was.
That was also shocking.
Yeah, that was like, but right off the bat, you were like, "Uh oh, here we go." Again.
Right.
So, and I really like the rest of the movie. I think like I don't know, it's a great breakup film.
She did such a great job in that.
Yeah, she's interesting. I think I remember reading. I think it was. I can't remember the name of it. It's Elizabeth or Lady Macbeth. Lady Macbeth, I think it is. She was like her first movie.
Oh.
And she was never acted before or anything. She just had watched a lot of movies and was like, I can do this. So
yeah.
She tried out for a movie and
good.
got the part and
good for her.
But it's like, yeah, just somebody that was like, you know what, I can do this. Now she's huge, and she was fantastic in Midsommar. And actually, it's funny. What movie was it recently that we saw the actor that played Christian was in?
Oh yeah, I don't remember.
And I was like, wait a minute, I couldn't believe that was him.
Wait, wasn't he?
Actor too.
Oh, he was in BlacKkKlansman.
Yeah, that's right. And I was totally surprised that was him. But yeah, so I know this has Joaquin Phoenix in it. So I think this is probably his first movie since Joker, maybe. Or no, I think he did have another A24 movie in there with like a little kid that I don't remember the name of it. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm assuming it's going to be a good movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know nothing about it, so I'm kind of rambling now. So.
So we'll ramble on a different thing on the way back and tell you how it was.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we'll see you after the movie and let you know what we thought.
Okay. Bye.
So we're out. What did you think?
It was interesting. Not what I thought an Ari Aster movie would be, or Ari Aster movie would be. It was a bit confusing. It felt like there was like 4 different stories in it, but none of them went together. And I'll be honest, it's not my favorite. It felt a little bit incomplete to me, but yet too much, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's not at all what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, to be honest. I didn't really go in there with any expectations, like I said, but
well, I thought it would be
it
weird.
was very different from Midsommar and Hereditary, for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Not just in subject matter, but in tonality.
Yeah, for sure.
Like there was, I think running throughout both of those movies is this like tension and dread. Mm-hmm. And this one definitely is tense, but it's interesting. Like the Joaquin Phoenix's character, like I don't want to get into spoilers here because it just opened, so we're gonna avoid that. But Joaquin Phoenix plays Beau, who is absolutely riddled with anxiety. Mm-hmm. Now, it's interesting. I don't know if he. To me, I didn't feel anxious watching the movie, like the way that Hereditary Midsommar made me feel this sense of dread constantly. Like
Yeah.
I didn't feel anxious.
Nope, I didn't feel anxious. I just felt confused.
Yeah, it is a very like. It's a movie that I'm definitely gonna have to see again before I really pass a verdict on it.
I kind of felt like it might have been like about childhood trauma.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, but in a kind of I don't know whose fault it is kind of way. I don't know.
Well, I mean, the
Like,
trauma is always kind of. I don't know. I think it did a good job of saying it's not just
yeah.
the person that inflicts this, but your reaction to it, and also that person has their reaction to how you are,
Yeah.
and so it's like it's not just like a parent's fault, and it's not just the kid's fault. It's like a combination.
Yeah.
Um, but they very well acted. Um, the supporting cast was great. I wish I could remember the name of the woman that like hit him with the car. I've seen her in
Oh,
other stuff, and she's really, really
she
good.
plays Holly on The Office.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, that's
I never
that's
would
who
have.
Steve Carell marries in the end on The
Holy
Office. Yeah,
moly! I
she's been
never
in
would have
some good
got that.
movies lately, and
Wow.
have played some good roles.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's gotten out there. But yeah, that's Holly.
Wow. I saw. Oh man, my brain's not working so
Parker
good today.
Posey.
Parker Posey was great. Bill Hader had a very brief minute in it. It's kind of interesting. He wouldn't
Yeah, just
look
tiny.
at the camera, just his back.
Yeah, it's just a little teeny cameo by Bill Hader.
But
which
I'm sure they met because they both are big cinephiles.
Oh, yeah.
Ari Aster and Bill Hader.
Yeah.
And they both have done little things for the Criterion Channel.
Yeah.
Which Ari Aster's affiliated with, and I'm sure that they probably met through that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it definitely. God, it had some absolutely gorgeous set pieces in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the. I don't know, like I couldn't tell, like I honestly couldn't tell if some of these sets were built, if they were like blue screened in, if what. But there was also like stop motion animation going on.
Yeah, that
in
was
them,
kind of cool. Yeah,
it was beautiful to look at. And it was interesting because it's like it would go from, because really I think this is Ari Aster's first like big budget movie, really. And it would go from feeling like a big budget movie, just like that city where everything's chaotic and crazy.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But it was also like big, like you definitely filled the screen with chaos.
Yes.
To just tiny little rooms that felt more like a small budget movie with just one actor in a room.
Right.
So yeah, the look of it was all over the place, which I really kind of liked. Like it is a longer movie. It's 3 hours long. I don't know. It's like the story of one man's life, I guess. Really.
And what I'm wondering about is it? Or
yeah, there were a lot of times where things are so over the top that you're like, is this happening or is this made up?
Is this his
like
anxiety that is,
are these
like is this a manifest of his anxiety?
His
like
dark
we're
thoughts
seeing
and
his anxiety?
intrusive thoughts of what the worst possible thing that could happen.
Yeah,
or is this actually
thoughts.
happening?
That's a good explanation for it.
And even his mom, had said something about his, imaginary keys to his imaginary apartment or something. So it's like, was he even there?
Right.
I don't know. There was a lot of just crazy stuff. Like, it's so dense that it's going to take me some time to unpack it.
It is.
For
it's
sure.
Very
and
thick with symbolism, I think.
And I want to see it again, although I probably won't be able to until it comes out to watch at home. But it's definitely something that I feel like a second. It's one of those movies that when you immediately that this is the exact type of movie that requires multiple viewings to unpack everything that's in it.
Definitely.
because it is definitely thick. I think
It
that,
is.
like, I don't know. I don't think horror fans are gonna like it. Like people that
Oh,
are
it's not a horror movie.
not at all. But if you're a big fan of Hereditary and Midsommar, you're not going to get remotely the same experience from this.
No,
This is
don't think that it's on the same wavelength. It's definitely not.
no. This is a complete departure from that. Like I don't even, like I said, it doesn't have that same mood, same atmosphere. Like
I can't even tell you what genre this is. Not drama, I guess.
I don't know.
Drama?
It's like a lot of times it's like a surrealist movie. Like it really is.
Yeah.
Very like I don't know. It definitely is an art film.
Yes, it is
Like
on that same level of his other films.
if Hereditary and Midsommar were art horror, this is just art films.
Art
like
life.
Definitely.
I don't know, a character study. Oh, you know what? I would say it's a
That's
character
a character study without really any like revelations about the character. Really?
Yeah.
I mean, they're kind of like you're like a couple times you're like, oh, he's got his shit together, and then it's like, oh no, that thing that was just a fantasy.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things like when you think about whether or not you would recommend a film. It really depends on who the audience.
Yeah.
Really.
I would only recommend it to certain people.
Like, and I don't mean this as a diss because I definitely think that Ari Aster is a really good filmmaker and that there's a lot here. I don't expect this to do well at the box office. I don't expect it to do well with a general audience.
It's not going to get good reviews.
Like, you know, if you're somebody that enjoys movies that, you know, like I'm one of the kind of people, you know, I'm a Lynch fan. Like, movies don't have to have a linear sense. They don't have to, like, make sense. They can be dreamlike. I'm not, you know, I'd rather have atmosphere than plot any day.
Yeah.
But I don't, you know, that's definitely not a mainstream view.
Yeah.
And I don't see this having mass appeal the way that, you know, I don't think, you know, word of mouth got around on Hereditary and Midsommar because people were like, whoa, you have to see this. I don't think that's going to happen with this. I don't think people are going to be saying
all
you
the
have
A24 fans and all the Ari Aster fans will go see it. But I think
I think a lot of people are going to hate it.
Well, I think with Midsommar and with Hereditary, I'm sure there were multiple views in the theaters by people. They went several times. Yep.
We saw Midsommar
I don't think
like
that this
4
will
times.
be one that people go back to see again.
No.
And I think that
I mean, I will for sure. I won't go back to the theater.
No, not for the theater for it. But I think that word will spread. I don't usually like going on the line and seeing like what other people think or like you know, to break down a film. I might want to do that this time to see what people think. Do they think it's a character study? Do they think it's his imagination?
Like, I absolutely hate this trend on YouTube of the end of a movie explained. But I was like, if there was ever one for it, it'd be this one because
I'd like to hear some people's
of what the endings were. I was like, he totally felt like he made a movie for those people to like make their videos on. But I don't. I definitely. It's, you know, he is definitely someone who knows his craft. He's a good filmmaker. And
there were touches of him in this film, like shots and things like that, of course. Other than that,
and if you watch some of his I can't remember the name of it. He had some early films that were like fake products, like over the top. Funny products.
Yeah.
And like
that's what
like that Steve Shiva thing. I was like, that's totally like that side of him.
Yeah, there's a little part about it's a Jewish catering company called Shiva Steve's.
Yeah.
And they just cater Shivas.
That's pretty funny. But
it's funny.
Yeah, I definitely
there were some humorous parts in it where Rob and I laughed out loud.
He's a really good filmmaker, and it is definitely there's a lot of craft on display. But that said, I don't know how many people are really gonna just absolutely fall in love with this movie first viewing. I don't think it's gonna happen. Um, like myself, I don't even know what I think of this movie. Like I said, I need to watch it and dissect it and think
Yeah.
about it. And a lot of people don't like to do that. I think some of our audience does, which is good.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. So that's our initial reactions
Yeah.
on Beau Is Afraid. Um,
I would definitely say it's worth watching.
yeah,
It's
definitely
just
a
don't
departure.
expect what you think that an
Yeah.
Ari Aster film
Even
would be.
I was thinking about that because, like I said, I've watched all of his short films. This definitely it doesn't even super feel like one like that Ari Aster. It's like a
Mm-mm.
new, different Ari Aster.
Yeah.
So, which is cool. I don't think that artists should be pigeonholed and do the same thing over and over again. Um, they need to grow, and they need to be allowed to fail too. Like I'm not saying he
Yeah.
did, but artists need. That's how they grow. So I don't know. It's
This was almost if he took his dream and wrote it out and filmed it exactly how he wrote it out. Like a dream that he had.
yeah. I was
This
thinking
seems
about
like
that it had like Lynchian qualities without being derivative of Lynch. Like it didn't.
Yeah, I thought that for a second too.
It's like sort of like in that same ballpark, but he's not showing his Lynch influences. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very dreamlike, and
There is one ridiculous part that really took me out of the film. I won't tell you what it is. I can't say it's a spoiler because it makes no sense, but you'll know it when you see it.
that painting.
No, that was
The
hilarious.
painting was hilarious. Anyway, so
yeah, look for a hilarious painting and for a something else that just kind of took me out of the film. But it's a whatever thing.
But so those are our thoughts, spoiler-free thoughts on Beau Is Afraid. Please check out Cinexcess.com. Listen to the podcast, watch the videos, give us a thumbs up, subscribe would be great. And
comment about what you thought about it too.
Please do. And please feel free to shoot us suggestions on what movies we should cover at Rob at Cinexcess and Kelly at Cinexcess.com. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you soon.
Bye.